Hi, econ class. Dr. Seibert here talking about your chapters this week. And this week, the first chapter, Income, Poverty, and Healthcare, pretty much goes with what the president's speech was about this week on TV. He did a speech to Congress and the House, just partially just because of the COVID, and had some of this information. And then the second chapter, Environmental Economics. So we'll talk about income, poverty, and healthcare. The president wants everybody to have healthcare. That's a great thing. I don't think anybody can be opposed to that. I think what we need to do, though, is figure out how to pay for it. And poverty, I think he had some different things talking about raising people out of poverty. I think that's awesome, too. And the third one is income, kind of goes with poverty. So I love that we want to lift people out of poverty, raise their income levels, and give them health care. This is a great thing. Our country is very passionate about these things. Then we have to figure out, how do we pay for them? So as you know by now, since you're almost at the end of this economics class, if we're going to pay for something, most likely our taxes are going to be raised. So, individual taxes, maybe as you guys as students, not so much, but as you go through your working life and get to levels that are higher, you'll have to think about these things. How much taxes are going to programs? And, as it stands right now, they'll probably raise the corporate taxes, which are probably a little low. If you have lower corporate taxes, the philosophy is that corporations will spend and capitalize and things like that, which I think they were doing before the pandemic, and I think they are starting to again. So, if you put more taxes on them, will they continue to do that? I don't know. I would think they probably will, because they're coming out of a pandemic, but maybe at some point they won't. I know that the stock market was really unhappy about this and dropped quite a bit, but the stock market is pretty far up for this year anyway. So that's probably just a drop in the bucket. Maybe I'm going to kind of look at that and see if what happened after the speech last night, to see if the stock market, how it reacts now. But yes, we want to help people out of poverty. We want to give them programs to help with that, and we want to help with healthcare. So we just have to figure out how to pay for these things. And, I hate to say this to you, but you guys are going to be the brunt of these programs. You're going to be the money for them, because, there's a lot of people retiring, probably a lot of people early retiring because they want to be able to, enjoy their money before it gets taxed too much. And so these are things you'll need to pay attention to as you go along in your career, and see if this is the policy you like or not. For me, I think it'd be great to give students community college. I like that idea, or tech college like you're doing. I like that people would have health care. I also think that there are a lot of agencies that help with healthcare that are nonprofits that do a really good job. It feels like when the government gets involved, there's a lot of waste and confusion. I think we saw that maybe with the COVID shots. It was first it was like really, 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 really minute. The elderly got it. And then it was sort of like after a few weeks, it was a free for all. Well, okay, you guys, yeah, anybody. Now I was at the grocery store the other day, and I had pharmacy people hunting me down to ask me if I needed a shot. So sometimes the government just doesn't run something as efficiently as a private industry. You'll kind of find that out also as you go along. So that goes into really also the environmental economy and politics along that line. And I am for environmental politics. I don't know if I'm clear at one end where everything has to be one way. For example, I don't know, have you ever thought about electric airplanes flying us? That doesn't seem appealing to me. So I don't know. I haven't seen anything on the boards for that, but that would be something that I probably wouldn't want to really do, maybe. So, but the environmental economy, the United States does a good job. We can always do better. If you say you're done, obviously that's not the attitude. But I think we also have to look at other countries when we look at the environmental economy, and namely China, probably India, but China sticks out in my mind as a country that does not do anything with emissions. They belch smoke out. When you land at the airport, you can't see it because it's so smoky, things like that. So there are other countries that need to really suck it up and start doing some stuff. And the globe, everybody, we'll have to make them do it, because nobody's going to do it on their own, right? I mean, who's going to spend that kind of money to do it on their own? That's not going to happen. So, I feel like hear everything about the United States. We need to do more here. We need to do more there, that kind of thing. That's fine. I'm glad to hear these things because I don't study it. I don't know it. But I would also like to know how we compare on a lot of these issues, environmental issues, to China, to India, to Russia, some of the bigger countries, and see where we're at. And if we see that there's a problem, who's going to step in to help? We've got these international bodies like the International Monetary Fund and even the World Health Care Organization. We have these ones in place that could be very beneficial and should be impartial. So we need to start, getting some pressure on them, say, hey, let's look at this. We have American companies over in China. Are they held to the same standards as they are here? I don't know. I'd be interested to know. But when will that start coming down? I mean, if you think about it, we started probably doing work in the 60s, 70s, and that's probably why a lot of our steel closed up, because it was just too much money to convert. Is this the same thing that China really has right now, like we were in the 60s, 70s? I would just like to see those comparisons, because somebody's going to pay for it, and I hope it's not us. How's that? So anyway, these are some things to think about. How much tax money are you willing to spend as you go through your career to help programs? Is it 50%? Is it 60%? Is it not? I don't know. But as you think about these things, the way to change them is to go to the voting and go vote. So just pay attention to these things. And if you see that your salary, your money is not quite like it is because more taxes are coming out, then you'll know, what you want to tolerate. Just on that note, my daughter and son-in-law, they're probably a third through their careers, and they do really well. And their taxes keep going up and going up and going up, and they pay more and more. So when you make more and you're paying more, and it's a vicious cycle. And that's just something individually you'll just have to figure out on your own. And then the environmental economy, those are also things that you'll make decisions in the future. Some of you maybe have the hybrid electric cars. I would love to have a Tesla. I don't know if it's practical in Wichita, Kansas. I haven't figured that out yet, but I am always reading and looking. So, in 10 years, it might be different. I might say, yes, I have to have that because I don't travel, the world. I just travel in Wichita. So anyway, have a great week. We'll talk to you later.